Okay, going on for part 2, what I said was to solve this, the first thing you have to do, and we have this equation here, you cannot have a value other than 1 right here in your A variable because you can't have that to complete the square. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to divide everything by 2 to get rid of that. So you end up with x squared minus 4x plus 3/2 equals 0. Now we need to move this to the other side and find a new c value so that we can solve completing the square. So our c value is going to be, again, b divided by 2 squared, which is -4 divided by 2 squared. That's going to give us 16 over 4. So as we rewrite this, we're going to have -3/2 because we moved it over here, and we're going to have 16 over 4, and here we have 16 over 4, and we're rewriting this. We have x squared minus 4x plus 16 over 4. Okay, there's our equation rewritten. Now, let's factor it. Oh, and we need to do this. Okay, so before we factor it, let's take care of this. So we need to convert -3/2 to something with a common denominator of 4 on the bottom. So we're going to multiply everything here by 2. So that's going to give us -6 over 4. And we're going to add that to 16 over 4. So we're going to end up with 10 over 4 here. So now we can factor. Okay, again, to find out what goes here, actually, look at this. We have 16 over 4. We can, in fact, go ahead and change this. What is 16 over 4? It's 4, right? Okay, so we can actually change this. And now it's something easy to look at, and we see that we have a positive here and a negative here. So we're going to have 2 negatives, and we know that 2 goes here. So let's rewrite this. X minus 2 squared equals 10/4. Take the square root of both sides. X minus 2 equals the square root of 10 over the square root of 4. Okay, we're going to add 2 over here, and look here. We have square root of 4. We can just solve for that. So we have x equals 2 plus or minus the square root of 10 over 2. And that can be your final answer. Okay? All right. So let's go ahead and press pause and try practice 7. All right. Practice 7 says 3x squared minus 12x plus 1 equals 0. All right, so first thing, you have to get rid of this 3 here, right? So divide everything by 3. All right, so our new equation says x squared minus 4x plus 1/3 equals 0. So we're going to subtract 1/3 to this side, and we're going to find our new c value by saying -4 divided by 2 squared, okay, which is 16 over 4. All right, so let's rewrite our equation now. So we have x squared minus 4x plus, we have 16 over 4 again, so we can just skip the fraction and write plus 4 equals 1/3 plus 4. You could write 16 over 4 or 4, whatever you want. All right, so let's take care of this. We have 1 over 3 and 4 over 1. So let's change this to thirds. So we're going to multiply everything by 3. And gives us 12 over 3. So we're adding here. So we have, kidding, we're subtracting here because we subtracted this. All right, so we have 11 thirds. Okay, so let's factor. Okay. All right, so I'll make sure I did everything right. Hang on. 12x plus 1. Oh, I did not. Okay. I knew this didn't look right. Sorry for the pause. Okay, so let's back up. Okay, so we're gonna say 4 divided by 2 squared. What's 4 divided by 2? It's 2, and we're squaring it. So 2 squared is 4. So we're gonna put 4 here. Oh, I guess that's what we already did. Okay, so we have x squared minus 4x. We subtracted 1/3 and we moved it over here. And now we're going to add 4. Okay, so now we're adding 4. And when we solved this, we changed this and multiplied everything by 3. And we changed this to 12 over 3. And then we combined these two, so we had 11 over 3. All right, so 11 over 3. Okay, and we're going to factor. Bring down your x. All right, and we can tell by looking that they're both negative and it's both going to be 2's. So we're going to have x minus 2 squared equals 11 over 3. Take the square root of both sides. We have x minus 2 equals square root 11 over square root 3. So go ahead and add 2, or actually, this can just stay. So you're going to have x equals 2 plus or minus the square root of 11 over 3. Now, if you wanted to not have a radical on the bottom, you could do it like this, okay? And, you know, in fact, on your standardized test, it's probably going to be like this. So to get rid of your radical on the bottom, you're going to just multiply times square root of 3 and multiply times square root of 3 on the top. So you end up with x equals 2 plus or minus. This becomes square root of 9, which is just 3. Square root 33 over 3. Okay, let's move on. That was practice 7. So we're going to skip 8 because I skipped that section. Okay, that's it. All right, I will post your assignment on Google Classroom. Have a great week. See you Thursday.